Om Gyanantirandasya Gyanantirandasya Chakshurmilitamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Vanchakalpatarvishya Vipasindhudeva Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaytanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasani Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. First of all, I offer my Samstam and Pranam unto the lotus feet of our most worshipful Sri Gurudev, Nitya Leela Pravishta Om Vishnupad Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Sri Guru Maharaj, to our Rupanuga Guru Varga and to all the Sangha Vaishnavas and Vaishnavas. So unfortunately Prabhu-Sri cannot come. Yes, some other seva, and I cannot disobey his order. So you have to be patient. It's your misfortune that I'm speaking today. But anyhow, today we know is a very auspicious day, Ekadasi, and every month we're glorifying. We're glorifying, and it should not be like, oh, again. We're glorifying again Ekadasi. No, because this is it said just by hearing their glories, that's already like so much pious activity already there. Yeah. Before kings, they have to do all these yagyas, this Ashwamedha. It requires like 100 years to perform and like that. So, and what's the goal? Really just to have some wealth and, auspiciousness, whatever. And so just by hearing, it's already equivalent to like this. This is only like side effect. But we know really what is glory of Ekadasi, right? The mercy of our Guru Varga and our Gurudev, the Vaishnavas, then we know the real glory of Sri Ekadasi Day. He said Ekadasi is none different from Krishna himself. Gurudev said Ekadasi is Krishna. Although it is not wrong also, like Gurudev said, it is also not wrong to say that Ekadasi is a manifestation of Radharani. Because Shaktiman, they're none different. But anyhow, we have to see in the context that on this day is like Krishna has come. You want to have direct, like relation with Krishna. You want to see him. That's why we're chanting name like this. So actually, this day, Krishna can be any type of vastu. As sound, he is Harinam. As even like as a rock, that's Shalagram Shila. And also as time, then he said, this Hari Vasar. Vas means reside. Hari residing on this day. On this day. So it is said that this day is like Krishna himself coming. So when Krishna comes, it's just like natural. I mean, if you really like, to have relation with someone, if that person, you're anxious to have relation, if he comes to your house, then immediately, oh, welcome, like that. You'll be very happy. Come, and do everything for his, you don't want to stay away from him. And you forget everything else, and you just stay with him. So it's like that on Ekadasi day, Krishna has come. And therefore, he don't leave, and you do only what is like pleasing for him. So that's why on this day, only chanting, the devotees don't eat, they don't sleep. That's their actual mood, really. So now, because we don't have that tradition, and therefore there's just a rule that we see. The rule is, you don't eat on this day. Then, you don't sleep on this day, like that. So it's just seen as a rule. It is right deep. So if you just sing like that, then, that's why you become afraid oh, Ekadasi again, oh, today Ekadasi, like, or like the day before Ekadasi, oh, Ekadasi, then, oh my God, like, something you fear, because now, oh, I'm not gonna eat that day, like this. But if it's really, like, fully understanding that this day is a very glorious day, Krishna is coming to this day, actually you should be anticipating, like, when is the next Ekadasi? So, this day, our Guru Bhagavad telling is mother devotion. Like a mother nourishing, like breastfeeding the baby, making the baby strong. We, the conditioned jivas, we're very weak. And really, like, we're so weak. And so very easily, Maya conquering us all the time. Like this. Even if you have desire, like this. Even if you desire, I want to be like a pure devotee. Like that. But it's so easy. The next morning when you wake up, you forget that. You know? You can say like today, oh, I'm going to be a pure devotee. I should like this. But then you go to sleep. The next day when you wake up, you forget that. And okay, this enjoyer tendency coming again. Even just by waking up, you forget even like, oh, Radha Krishna. Like, oh, very nice sleeping. I'll sleep again. Like this. So it's so easy. So it is said that like a mother, so this day has come and nourishing. And really it's like if you're doing brata on this day, then this brata very helpful, very powerful. So many things that is like, dominating the jiva. The day is very special, Ekadasi. The Ekadasi has so many names and somehow giving us some idea what special gift they give like this. So today is Vijay Ekadasi. So we know Vijay means victory. So and that's what actually is being promised on this Ekadasi. Because our Gaudiya Math, they have collected from different scriptures, and they published this book with Ekadasi Mahatmya, and they're gathering from all different. So it's directly from the Shastra, like this. And so in today's Ekadasi, Krishna actually explaining the glory of this Ekadasi based on what Lord Brahma told to Narad Muni. Because Narad Muni, he's like, his father is Lord Brahma, no? So he was asking, what is the benefit of this Ekadasi? So then Lord Brahma telling him, like, oh, this Ekadasi, very, because Ekadasi is always glorious though. So you have to expect that. They always say, oh, this Ekadasi is the best of all Ekadasi. And so then said, oh, just by hearing this, and all your sins will be removed like this. It's done like that. But it's got a very special name, Vijay, meaning victorious. So that if anyone follow this Ekadasi, they will always be victorious. So everyone wants to be victorious now. No one wants now there's all this big talk about this war. There's all this war like this. And because they want victory over fighting over. It's very unfortunate actually. And if we look at it, like how people just thinking like this, like they have a certain desire and then they're willing to just kill everyone, for attaining that. And that's the story of this world. That's the history, that's really, in the history of the world, is always like that. Always like all these great kings and conquering other places. Anyway, but even if you conquer the whole world, but if you're a slave of your senses, you're a loser. At the end, your whole life is wasted, and you come back again into this world. And usually, if you're very impious, then you can go very low in this 8,400,000 species of life. And, so real victory really is to win over Maya, and go beyond this world. So really, this Ekadasi can give that. And Mahaprabhu giving us idea. Param Vijayate, how to get this supreme victory by Krishna Sankirtan. And what is that? Really relishing praying. It begins with Cheto Darpanam Marjanam, that is Shraddha, up to Anartha Nivriti, all these stages. So Cheto Darpanam Marjanam, Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam, all this forest fire of material existence will be extinguished. And that is the stage of Nishta. In the stage of Nishta, actually the environment now is not affecting it. So that's actually the beginning of some victory there, but not full. So then, after that, what is after Chaitodharpana Marjanam, Bhava Mahadava Nirvapanam, Shreya Kairava Chandrika, now the moon ray. This moon ray, giving so much fortune, So this is the stage of Ruchi, when the ray now coming in the heart, and now the heart begins to bloom like a lotus, like that. So there's some now taste coming. Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam Vidya Vadhu Jivanam. And then now they're experiencing life of this transcendental knowledge. Like this. The said Vidya Vadhu means the consort of Vidya. Experiencing the life. So really, in that stage, that is a stage of asakti. Asakti, now so much attachment develops. Like when you become married, it's like, you're so attached now. This Nam and God Himself now become very dear to you. Like this. So the meaning, some Bandhagyan now realizing like this. And that's real Vidya, that's real knowledge. So Vidya Vadhu Jivanam, Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam. Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam. So this ocean of Ananda now overflowing. So that's Bhav. So then after that, Anandam Pratipadam, and every step, Pratipadam Purnam Rita Aswadanam, tasting this complete nectar. So actually, we will not know really what it means if not for our Guru Varga. Bhaktivinoda Thakur explaining this. His Bhajan Rahasya explaining all this. So he said, Purnam Ritas Vadanam, tasting full nectar in every step, in every activity. So that's in the higher stage of Bhav. That, really, after that, when you enter, completely, now leaving all material bodies, you attain a spiritual body, then experiencing prema, then that is Sarvatma Snapanam. Completely bathed now. Whole Atma, completely bathed, clean. And then Param Vijayate. So that is supreme victory. That is by Krishna Sankirtanam. So in this age, this is a process, very easy. It is chanting now. We already Guru Bhai explaining, no? Param Vijayate is Krishna Sankirtanam. Sankirtan. So it did not say Param Vijayate Krishna Kirtan. No, it said Sankirtan. Because we know there's so many meaning also to the word Sankirtan. First, you understand Kirtan. Kirtan means glorification. You glorify. So when you glorify, you can call on His name. You can glorify His form, His qualities, His associates, His activities. How great that is. But when you say Sankirtan, meaning complete glorification. Not just portion. So, unless it's complete glorification, you will not attain this Param Vijay, complete victory. So there's a deep meaning to this actually. So what is that? And especially for us, then we know. What is that? Unless Radharani is glorified, your glorification of Krishna is not complete. That is what it means. Like this. Then there will be no complete victory. So why? Because really, unless Radharani is glorified, you're not fully glorifying Krishna. Why? Because everything is, the glories of Krishna is there when Radha is there. So, we know the example, no? So, and we know the pranamanta of Krishna. This is a best example. You know, what is pranamanta of Krishna? How do we glorify him? Hey Krishna, you're calling him, but that's not enough. That's why then you glorify more. Karuna Sindhu, ocean of Karuna, ocean of mercy. But really, that's not full glorification of Krishna. Because so many ocean of mercy there. All his devotees, they're all ocean of mercy. So, Krishna would not consider he's talking to me. He cannot listen to you. Hey Krishna, Karuna Sindhu, Dinabandhu, friend of the fallen. So, that cannot also just be Krishna. So many, all his avatars, they're all coming to this world. Everyone's fallen in this world. His avatars coming, and he's there, the friend of the fallen. Dinabandhu. He said, Jagatpate, the Lord of the universe. That is, that's Mahavishnu, not necessarily Krishna. Krishna doesn't need to listen. Dinabandhu Jagatpate. But then, Gurudev said, when you say Gopesha, we mean Gopa Isha. The master of the Gopa community. So then Krishna was like, there's no one else, me, so there has to be me. So Krishna begins to listen. You will catch his attention. Gopesha. But then Gopika Kanta. The darling of the gopis, then Krishna will look at you. He's like, he said, he knows me. Like that. But then Radha Kanta, then Krishna will run to you and say, what do you want? It is. They said like that. But then what do we want? Same in the prayer, with Namostute, I just offer myself to you. No false ego. I offer myself to you. Like this. So in this mood, we're doing kirtan. And if your kirtan is glorifying Radharani, the Supreme Shakti, then that means Krishna becomes very happy. So this is complete glorification. So today our Ekadasi is Vijaya Ekadasi. So by this Ekadasi, we become victorious. So then therefore on this day, our main activity is doing this Sankirtan. Meaning like chanting name, hearing Harikatha, in this mood. Like this. So as far as like how this Ekadasi has been glorified, like I mentioned in Skanda Puran, the Brahma was speaking to his son, to Narad Muni. Narad Muni was asking. So then he was just giving like a proof about what this Ekadasi has done. And mainly this is for the ordinary people who can understand. So because he's saying, by following this Ekadasi, you will be undefeatable. You'll be always victorious. That's why it's Vijay. So then he's giving the example of Lord Ram. Lord Ram himself, God himself also giving the example. And what is that? We all know the story of Ram. When he was in the forest, he was banished in the forest, and his wife was kidnapped. And so then he had to conquer Lanka. But it said that after meeting that armies of the monkeys and like that, and Hanuman already came to Lanka and found Sita, came back and showing evidence by bringing the ring. And so they're ready to attack. Like that. But then they have to cross the ocean. And so how do we do this? So then they were thinking we have to ask one great sage. Now, of course, Ram, they can do us, he's God, but it's there to show an example for all of us. Like this, that even on your own, you cannot do it. You have to create, under Anugatya, with some great personalities, like this. So then, they know of some Muni, who's been here not just in one lifetime of Brahma. He has witnessed so many Brahmas, in his lifetime. And therefore he has so much knowledge. And so then he said, we will visit this Muni and ask for some advice. So when they approached the Muni, of course the Muni could understand. This is God himself, like this. So he said, oh, my fortune that you are coming here, but you're pretending to be an ordinary person, like this. So, but how I can serve you then? If they're asking, we want to cross the ocean, but how can we do? Like this, and how to win? Like that. He said, oh, very easy. This coming 11th moon, this is Vijay Ekadasi. So if you follow this, then there'll be no problem, you'll win. So that's main gist of the whole story of Lord Brahma. Just to show that encourage people. You want to be victorious, and especially many materialistic people, and they always think in relation to themselves, or whether it be for their sense of enjoyment also, and like this. They don't want to be dominated by anyone. So it's like a trick, and so then they'll follow this. But whether you have bad intentions, that's why this is like mother of bhakti. Whether you have bad intentions or anything, you follow Prabhu. And some people, they really seriously, they follow. Some are even more serious than, if you look, more serious than devotees. They're also not eating and not drinking and even not sleeping. But their motivation is materialistic. But even doing that, because even doing unknowingly, some benefit already. How much more if doing, but even with some bad motives, still doing, still there is so much auspiciousness. Because by performing this is it becomes like a catalyst for change, like this. So some change in consciousness. So some purification definitely will be there, like this. And especially, mostly, what is the fruit of Sukriti? What is the fruit of Sukriti? When your Sukriti matures, really what's the fruit? Sadhusanga. You meet an actual devotee. So people doing like this, they may go heavenly planets or whatever, that's not really the highest. As far as their Sukriti is concerned, by accumulating Sukriti, it can lead them to association of devotees. But definitely, this is an anga of bhakti. And by touch of this, very powerful, becoming, very auspicious. And we know, especially by mercy of devotees, then you begin to follow Ekadasi very nicely. Then that would really, in full Sambandha Gyan will come. And then definitely this Ekadasi will help you to attain prema. Now, we know how difficult it is in the path of sadhana. Yesterday, Prabhuji was in our chapter now, this Anartha Nivriti. Prabhuji is reading in this book all about Anartha Nivriti. So he was talking about the four types, right? Saurabh Brahm, Asatishna, Hridaya Durbalya, and Aparad. 4. In Madhurya Kadambini, it also describes 4 types of anarthas, which are according to where it's coming from, where it's arising from. So there's anartha coming from duskriti, anarthas coming from sukriti, anarthas coming from aparad, and anarthas coming from bhakti. So, of course, we all know what anartha is. Anartha means anything that is opposite artha. Artha means wealth, artha means our goal. So anything opposite to that, meaning if it is wealth, that means garbage. Or obstacles to attaining your goal, like this, anarthas. So, he said, duskriti. Duskriti means impious activities, sinful activities. You're doing sinful activities, then what happens? You get all these very bad samskaras in your heart, and it gives you all this bad karmic reactions like this. Which later on, when you start the process of bhakti, they all become disturbance. You know, all these bad samskars from all your, they all become anarthas. So these are the anarthas coming from Sukriti. In the same way, anarthas from Sukriti. By doing pious activities, let's say you went to heavenly planet, you were enjoying so much, you know, and now, later on, maybe you become a devotee. But you have all these samskars that like, this tendency like, oh, I want to enjoy, because you've been enjoying so much. So it's still there. Like this. Oh, you're enjoying like this. You want. And because you live like a king before, like that, then any little inconvenience you cannot tolerate. Like that. You know, so they are like anarthas. So these are anarthas from Sukriti. So, and of course, there's anarthas from aparad. And this is the greatest of all types of anarthas. Because this anartha is the last to be removed. This is like very strong. So you make offenses to the devotees, to Dham, like this, to Shastra, and generally when you say Namaparad, that is like everything is there. So number one Namaparad, Vaishnavaparad, and Sadhaninda. So it says by this, it's like you don't just stunt the growth of your bhakti figure, your practice. It's like a fruit. And yeah, the elephant is an example. You know, like you have a garden, a very nice garden, you've been cultivating for maybe 100 lifetimes, or you know, how many, like that. And now it's like growing nicely. But then one time, you invite one elephant, come, like this. And started coming and dancing in your garden and breaking everything, like that, and broken. It's very difficult to fix now, like this. So it's like that. That's why you always warn, be very careful, you know. So, Anti, Nindanti, Vaidvashti, this, you know this verse? Like 6 things. Anti, like to beat or to kill. Ninda, to blaspheme, criticizing. To become envious. To become angry, cruelty, to become angry. Then, to not welcome. Vaishnavas come, but you don't welcome them. Oh, it's the same, they're all the same category, Sadhuninda. And last one is, you may welcome them, but you're not happy. You know, like, to become not happy seeing a Vaishnava, this is already a Sadhuninda. Like this first offense. Like this. So, that's all in the same category. Like that. So that is the mad elephant one. And of course, there's 9 more. The same situation, but like Vaishnava to your Guru also. So that is Guru Abhagya. To think the Guru is like an ordinary person, Abhagya actually means to neglect, to disrespect. And why? Because you think he's an ordinary person, like this. So that is also Namaparad. So many to offend Shastra. And we are warned that sometimes in Shastra, Shastra talks about karma. Shastra talks about jnana. Because Shastra is there to help everyone, and like this. So sometimes, because we're teaching bhakti, because sometimes we have the tendency to criticize Shastra because, this is talking about karma, talking about jnana. So Vishwanashari Thakur, he said, you should not criticize, otherwise it will fall into this category of this aparad or Shastra. Because you have to appreciate that there is a purpose why he's doing like that. Shastra is there, there's a purpose for that. Instead of criticizing, then you can tell people like, yes, but Shastra is telling like this, but then you can show them how to elevate to bhakti, but not criticizing. So Vishwanath Thakur is done like that. It's like, there are many teachers, and some teachers are teachers for kindergarten, and teachers for, high school, some teachers for, like, college, and like this. And just because you're in college, then you're criticizing the teachers for elementary, like this. But they're only doing what is for their purpose. So it's the same like that. So, I know like this. another like namaparad, like which is very common, is sinning on the string of the name. You know, we know that, no? Like if sometimes it is said that we are imperfect, you know, and we commit mistakes. Also in our seva, there's something considered a seva aparad. You know, on your attempts to serve the devotee or Bhagavan, the deities, sometimes like you make mistakes and they're considered seva aparad. But it says those seva aparad, they are easy to be forgiven by Krishna. Like this. Because you, for one, we're imperfect, and if you ask forgiveness, you know, Krishna understands. Yes. Okay, no problem. If you ask forgiveness and with remorse, easily. All this seva aparad very easy to be forgiven. But if you think, no problem, he will forgive me, you know, and like, it said also, if I chant name, he will forgive me, like this, I'll be free. Then it becomes namaparad. You still the strength of the name. You perform simple activities, and you think, Nam is so glorious. Nam can remove all the sins. You know? So then, okay, I will do this simple activity. Then I will chant afterwards. I will purify. Then, but actually, it said you will not even be purified, because now by you making use of Nam like a rock, you know, like a doormat, like this. It's very disrespectful. And so, you know, the more you, it's not just sin now. Now you're doing sin, no. But now it goes even to become an aparad, in a sense, more than sin. So, that's all this consideration. So, in all this aparad, if you're doing this offenses, then it creates all these anarthas that will be very difficult, make it so that it's very difficult for you to progress. So, like it is said that when on the path of bhakti, you know, it is said that when you reach the stage of nishta, there will be symptoms. There will be symptoms, like all this lie, vikshep, and all this, you know, they will be gone. Like lie meaning like falling asleep, right? So you may be chanting, and you're going to be very determined, I will chant, like that. But then you fall asleep, like that. This is lie. So it says, it's a sign that you have not attained the stage of Vishta. Because this lie, this is caused by anarthas. So some anarthas are causing this. Lie, what else are there? Like, I don't remember not the Sanskrit words, but like sometimes there is this mind, your mind not able to concentrate. You know? You're not falling asleep. These are also like stages, you know. Okay, that one is the lowest, you know, like falling asleep. Another one, now you're not falling asleep, but you cannot concentrate. You can chant, but not concentrate. Using Harikatha, not concentrate. Like this. This is a sign. Some anartha is there, pray for this. More than that, okay, you can concentrate, but you cannot understand. You know, like, you're not competent, you know? So, this is still after anartha. It goes up more. Until, like, even you can concentrate, but there's always a situation where the opportunity to do self-gratification. It's always arranged that some opportunity for self-gratification, like that. And then you always lose. You know, sometimes you're in chant and someone telling, hey, ice cream, like this. You know, you do something and then you get the ice cream, like that. So, you know, and other more, like tendency to become angry and this. All these are anarthas. So, is that unless clear from anarthas, then all these obstacles will not be clear. And you won't go past the stage of like Nishta. But it doesn't mean after Nishta no more anarthas. Anarthas will still be there. But mostly the hard, difficult anarthas, that they stay after Nishta. And of course, some even remain up to bhav. Even the stage of bhav, some anarthas are still there. But these are only the anarthas from offenses. All the other types of anarthas, from duskriti, sukriti, and the easiest one to remove is the anarthas from bhakti. You have to understand, even by practice of bhakti, anarthas are also arising. Why? Because it is said that when you perform bhakti, bhakti is directly ladin shakti of Bhagavan. You know, it makes everyone happy. Because it makes you attractive. You're doing bhakti, you become attractive to everyone. You're making everyone happy. So there's always the tendency that, people will glorify you. People will give you gifts like this. And you'll be famous. So these are the three things that we are warned. These are symptoms of these anarthas from bhakti. Like this labha. Labha means money, wealth. Labha puja. Puja means worship, to be adored. And pratishtha. Pratishtha meaning this name fame. These three things. So the desire coming. He said, so when you performance of bhakti, they naturally will come. It is understood and it's natural. They will come. But if you're in that proper mood of bhakti, then very easy. You will not be disturbed because like that mood. So then these ones will be there and they go away. No problem. But if you don't follow nicely this bhakti, then you will see this, these things. Then you become absorbed in them. Then what happens? Your practice of bhakti will nurture this anarthas. Then it makes a problem. Instead of developing bhakti, now your bhakti cannot progress. You are now helping these three other desires. So that's why this is considered like an upasaka. Like when there's a tree, for example, sometimes there's weeds. Weeds is definitely like a different type of plant, and it's easy to uproot. They will disturb my plant, my garden like this. But there are some plants that actually attach to the main tree itself, and sometimes it looks like a branch of the tree, like this. Or sometimes even the tree has many branches, and sometimes some branches even causes the tree to be not grow very high, and that's why the gardener they trim, they cut, and then the main branch can really go up like this. So in that way, it's an analogy of Guru Bhagavad is saying like this. All these desires that you have to be very careful, and they will suck. All these your practices of bhakti, all your energy for bhakti supposedly they will be sucked by this, and then this bhakti cannot grow anymore. And rather they will be enhanced. Like this. And you have to be careful. Some they actually go very deep into this. They attain even position of guru and they're being worshipped. They get all the wealth and also name and fame. But bhakti is not there. They're just famous and people have so many followers and like that. But bhakti is not there. So we have to be very careful. So Gurudev will say, and like in Manasiksha, Raghunath Goswami is telling like this, you may be able to already get rid of this kam, krodh, lobh, all these things, this desire even for sense gratification. But the desire for pratishtha, very difficult to get rid. So it's like how Raghunath Goswami describe it? Pratishtha drishta swapacharamani. This drishta meaning unchaste, shameless. Swapacha meaning from this dog eater family, from that caste, like very low class. What? Dog eater, Swapacha, Ramani means beautiful young lady. So it's like a beautiful young lady from a very low caste, a dog eater caste, shamelessly, dancing in the heart. So as long as this shameful, dog eating, outcast, beautiful lady, dancing, as long as she continues to dance in your heart, then Aham sadhu Spishati. how this frame that from the eternal world, this Sadhu frame, this Vaja frame, how this can specifically can touch my heart. So it's not possible. But what's the solution? Then he said, oh, Sada Tvam Sevasva. What? He said, Sada Tvam Sevasva. Always serve. You always serve. Sada Tvam Sevasva. Who? Prabhu Daita, the very dear servants of Prabhu, who are Samantam. Samantam, they are like generals, like commanders in the army. Samantam Adulam. They're like incomparable, unequal, meaning they're very big generals. And they will get rid of this Chandalini, this Sopacharamani from the heart and make this flame come into your heart. So again, the principle of not by ourselves. We cannot. You can go for many lifetimes and trying on your own like this. But this pratishta, like this, will remain there. And so, he said, but this pratishta, this is one of the anarthas from bhakti itself. But he said, this anarthas from bhakti. In the stage of nishta, they'll go away. They easily go away. It's only these anarthas from aparad. They are most difficult. So, why we're talking about this? We're talking about victory. You have to be victorious over Maya. Gain victory, win to this path. Like completely and become successful. So all the way, like so many help is there. You're not on your own. No, you're not on your own. So today we're appreciating Ekadasi. It's very helpful. If you look now, that is very important. In this life, okay, you can do sadhana, but very important to have this mood of, how do you call it? Being always introspective. Like sincerity, some sincerity is there. And so this time of Ekadasi, this is the time to actually introspect. Our Guru Bhargava Swami, from Bhaktivinoda Thakur, is always reminding us. This is an opportunity for us sadhakas to examine ourselves. How close am I to attaining my goal? Like how much I am progressing in my spiritual life. And really, if you think about it like this, you may not be able to do this every day, but at least on Ekadasi, then you can think, oh, already 15 days have passed. How much am I, going to my goal? Like, am I getting closer like this? And if you see that, oh, I'm going far away. Oh, I'm not progressing. Oh, it's so unfortunate. I'm committing all these aparas and like this. Then on this day, then you should cry. You should pray. It's like Krishna has come. Then take advantage of that. You pray, and that's why, if possible, and really, especially if you feel like I'm so bad, like I'm so hopeless now, then really take this Ekadasi very seriously. On this day, stop eating, don't eat, only chant. Don't even sleep. Like this. That's what the whole vrata is for. And so then really you just pray I'm so sinful, I'm so and very, very powerfully this Ekadasi will help you. Sometimes you may think, I've committed so much sinful activities. No, that's nothing. That's only like a side effect of Ekadasi. You just follow Ekadasi and it's done. But more than that, now you just follow nicely, then easily, this sambandhagyan, this brain will come. You become very strong devotee. So, two times a month coming and nourishing and making the jiva strong, becoming more like this, big. Then later you become one of the commanders also. Like before you're praying to the commanders, like, get rid of this Chandalini from my heart, like that. Now, later also by following nicely, then you also become very strong. You become victorious. So, this is glory of this Ekadasi. On our own also, we cannot really follow nicely. That's why we stay in the association of the devotees. And everything becomes very easy. If you stay with the devotees, then everything becomes very easy. So we're trying to follow all these things. So now, last time, I was trying to discuss with everyone that sometimes probably going to give class. So on the day when we cannot give class, at least we have some like fixed book. Like before we had a fixed book, that we read, and we finished that already. So last time I was kind of suggesting, especially if Mahaprabhu's appearance coming soon, we can study, we can read, because I also want to read this Chaytanya Sikshamrita. And it is a very nice book, very important book. But then, I'm thinking this book is so big also. Of course, the Bhagavatam is bigger. But maybe a smaller one. And because almost like God Purnima, I'm thinking we can start reading Navadvip Matya. So, then it's like, you may not be able to go Navadvip, but really, we're getting darshan of Navadvip. Because darshan Navadvip was not by eyes. You can also go there. But how much you have entered into Navadvip, really? It's only by mercy of the actual residents of Navadvip that you can enter. So, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is an eternal resident there and actually giving us darshan. And so, you may not physically go there, but actually you can have darshan by giving from this Navadvip Matya. So I think we can start today. Now we still have time. Then we can begin. So instead of Chaytanya Sikshamrita, we can begin with this. So anytime God will give us, just go with this one. Okay? That's easy. I didn't do it. Now it's not done. Oh, he's giving already, huh? No, it's not yet. Oh, okay. So that's already night time. So then we can continue. We can continue Chaytanya Sikshamrita then. Chaytanya Sikshamrita. Okay, so last time we just started with reading Gurudev's introduction. Let me pull up the book. So Gurudev actually starts the book with biography of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And because it's just natural. Like first you have to introduce like who is the one like who is the source of all this knowledge. Like this. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur by his mercy has revealed all this. So Gurudev is saying that and we started already this telling by composing hundreds of books. It's not just 1, 2, 3 Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote books. He wrote more than 100 books. So by writing all these hundreds of books, he re-established in this modern time, and Gurudev explained actually, this modern time is degraded by sensual pleasure. So that time now is being, he re-established in this time, what? The flow of Shuddha Bhakti, the flow of pure devotion, which at that time, he said, temporarily it appeared to stop. The flow had stopped. Right now you can see it's flowing. Like you cannot say it stopped. No, now it's flowing. Like it's more than the time of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. That time of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, nobody in the West know about Krishna like that. So now it's definitely flowing. That's by mercy of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Because otherwise, if not for Bhaktivinoda Thakur, what is there to study also? What are the books now Gurudev would be explaining or Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur Prabhupada? So he said, due to his having propagated in different ways, so he's not only in one way, in many different ways, he has propagated the pure philosophy of Prem Dharma, exhibited and preached by Sriman Mahaprabhu. Then, now he is known as Seventh Goswami. He became famous as Seventh Goswami. You know, what our 6 Goswamis collectively have done. Bhaktivinoda Thakur alone did it. He's saying, because he manifested Mahaprabhu's holy name, that is Gornam, Mahaprabhu's holy land, Goradham, Mahaprabhu's innermost desire, Gorakam, and the narrations of Mahaprabhu's pastimes, Sri Gaur Lila. He is considered the incarnation of Vyas in Mahaprabhu's pastimes. This is Gurudev telling directly. Because actually Vyas, this is like a post. It's not just like one person. It's like there's not only one Lord Brahma. There's a post like a Brahma who is the creator of a universe. Vyas is someone who expands. Actually, the word Vyas means diameter. Diameter in geometry. This term, like that line that intersects the central point of a circle, touching both ends of the circle. That is Vyas, like that. So, meaning there's two opposite sides. Like this material world and the spiritual world. And here's the line that connects them. Like this. And that line, it goes in the middle, the center. Krishna is the center. Like this. So, Vyas means also to divide. He's like Srila Vyasadeva considered Vyas because he divided the Vedas in four. Giving connection with the Jiva. Or another term for meaning of Vyas is expand. So Vyasadeva expands the knowledge. Ultimately giving like the highest limit. So the greatest gift of Vyasadeva is what? Srimad Bhagavatam. So in the same way, any person who's performing this, they're considered no different from Vyas. That's why Guru is considered the disciple of Vyas. And on his day, it's a puja. It's a puja. So, but especially for Bhaktivinoda Thakur, then when it comes to Mahaprabhu Lila, then he is honored as an incarnation of Vyas. So he is considered an incarnation of Vyas. So you may not say, oh, he's Vyas himself, but he's an incarnation of Vyas. That's what Gurudev is trying to say. And again, four things that you can say. Why? Because he manifested Gaur Nam, Gaur Dham, Gaur Kam, Gaur Lila. Like this. Gaur Kam means desire. So Gurudev continues, he said, he appeared in an educated and cultured family on the 2nd of September 1838 in the village of Virnagar. So some of you, I think, you've been to this place, Virnagar. Some of you got it there. Not one time, but many times. This Virnagar is very near the place of Mahaprabhu's appearance in the Mayapur, in West Bengal. His childhood name was Sri Kedarnath Datta. He was a scholarly and ingenious student. So we know. And during his household life, he held a high position as a government official under the rule of the British king. During the time, he served the innermost desire of Sri Gaurasundar. How? By translating the Upanishads, the Brahma Sutra, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and the commentaries of the Goswamis. So this is what he has done. He translated Upanishads, Brahma Sutra, especially Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. He all has his commentaries. He translates to Bengali and he makes commentaries also. And of course, especially the devotional books of our Goswamis. The commentaries of the Goswamis. He himself has written his own devotional books. Yes, we already mentioned that. Not just 1, 2, 3, but hundreds. And also published weekly and monthly spiritual magazines, journals. So, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, then he just followed the Bhaktivinoda Thakur, continued his legacy. That's why he made it so, he made like a school, like a training place. That's the Gaudiya Math. So, In addition, he established Namhat programs for the distribution of Harinam Sankirtan and Harikatha from village to village and town to town, and he revived many forgotten holy places. So many forgotten holy places. He revived all of them. So like this Navarit Mahasya, and every evening you have to be in class. There then you can have some appreciation now. All these places. If not for Bhaktivinoda Thakur, really, how will you know that this is what happened here and like this? And really, it's amazing. He wrote, I mentioned this I think before, he wrote this Navarit Mahatmya even before he discovered Mayapur. This is one of the first books that he wrote. Like this. In the end, he renounced his wealth and family and took up permanent residence at where? Swananda Sukada Kunj, a garden in Sri Godlum that is situated on the banks of the divine Mahabharati river, within the boundary of Sridham Navadvip. There he remained possessionless and established the ideal of the system for practicing Raganuga Bhajan. So, I think many of you all have gone to these places. Actually, before, during the time when we have parikrama with Srila Gurudev, we are staying in Devananda Gaudiya. And Gurudev, when we do a parikrama, the actual parikrama usually begins in Mayapur and ends in Mayapur. That is the path that Srinanga like showed to Shiva Goswami. Do like this. And then that is what Bhaktivinoda Thakur showed in his book Navatit Mahatmya. This is the process of performing parikrama. But then, Srila Gurudev, we always start from Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Because without him, how will you be able to do this parikrama? So first, we take his mercy, like this. And then we begin. So actually, he starts from Godlum. But from there, from Godlum, then already you offer obeisances to Navatina, this Mayapur. Offer obeisances there. So he said, by his example, we can learn how to do this Raganuga Bhajan. Like how the Goswamis, what they have written in the books of our Goswamis. If he had not appeared in this world, and this is always what we always feel like indebted, very shown to us. If he had not appeared in this world, Mahaprabhu's birthplace and the places where Mahaprabhu performed pastimes and instructions would still be concealed. It would have been still hidden, So not just Mahaprabhu's birthplace and pastime places, but also Mahaprabhu's instructions, his teachings. But now, today, in all corners of the world, then now this is being preached. Harinam Sankirtan is being joyously celebrated, and the very high waves of Sri Gaur Krishna Bhakti are inundating the entire world. Now, the word is saying like this. Thousands of educated Western youths are drinking the mellows of devotion and dancing, being overcome with spiritual joy. It is none other than Bhaktivinoda Thakur who again inaugurated this flow of bhakti. We have to acknowledge that really he is the one who inaugurated it. And that's why he's considered like the Bhakti Bhagirath. Like Bhagirath bringing Ganga, and again the flow of this bhakti coming down because of So he said he composed approximately 100 books in Sanskrit, Bengali, Hindi, English, Oriya, and other languages. So he did not only write Bengali books. He has some Sanskrit compositions, he has Hindi also, and English also. He has English book, and of course Sanskrit and Oriya. The names of a few of them are as follows. So, this is the prominent ones. Commentaries on ancient scriptures such as the Brahma Sutra, Bhagavad Gita, some of the Upanishads, the Srimad Bhagavatam, and Sri Chaytanya Chaytanyamrita. So these are the main books he makes commentary. And he has his own compositions. So then he has his own compositions. Very foremost is Jaiva Dharma. And we know that it's like he already gathered, so he saved us the time to collect all these works of our Goswamis and try to understand them and like this. He already gathered them and he packaged them to make them very easily, easily digestible, like this. So he has Jaiva Dharma, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Shiksha, Datta Kaustuva, Sri Krishna Sanghita, Tattva Vivek, Sri Bhajan Mahasya, Dasamul Shiksha. Then he has written all these songs, Sharanagati, Gitamala, Kalyan Kalpataru, like this. Like Narottam Thakur, he has written all these very nice songs, which incorporates within them all these moods actually, that practicing like Raganuga devotee, how they should, cultivate their bhakti. Like that. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, the same way, so much more also. From Sharanagati, from surrender, and then going on more to Raganuga Bhajan. Then of course there's Harinam Chintamani, the Prem Pradeep, and this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his life on precepts, that's the English one. So some books he is like fully with all evidence. It's like really for doubtful people and scholar people. He deals with all different types of people. So like for faithless people, then in some books he's showing all evidence and all quotes and like that. But in some books, he immediately will say, no, this book is for those who have faith already. So I will not write anymore like all these big slogans and like that. And less Sanskrit like this. I'll just make this all simple. Harinam Chintamani is like that. In that book. From the very beginning, he's telling this book is only for those people with faith. So he said he disappeared from this world on the 23rd June 1914. Okay, so that is where it begins. And okay, these are short. So then the next section is a foreword by, I think she got one. No, yes. It is a foreword by Srila Bhakti Goswami Maharaj. This book was translated by Srila Gurudev, but in the foreword, Srila Bhakti Goswami Maharaj, she made like an introductory statements. So he's saying the founder and president of the Gaudiya Vedanta Samiti, who is that? Is Gurudev, or Param Gurudev. My most worshipful Gurudev in Kalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Srimad Bhakti Pradhyan, Keshav Goswami Maharaj, has written the following in his introduction to the book named The Teachings of Srimad Mahaprabhu. What did he say? He said, Sri Bhaktivinoda Thakur, by manifesting the principles of Dasamul Tattva, has brought the Gaudiya Vaishnava world to another age. So this is Param Gurudev, Bhakti Pradhan Goswami Maharaj. Directly he's telling that how the one speciality of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he has brought the Gaudiya Vaishnava world to a different age. Like now they're in a different situation like this. He actually he made it. It's like he made an upgrade. So in the school, to then make them easily to understand. So what did he do? He manifests the Dasamul Shiksha. So this is one of his great contributions. The Prabhu he said. But not only for the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, rather He has given a new outlook for the whole philosophical world in general. But actually that contribution is not just for the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. But in general, to the whole world, He has given them a new outlook. So there's all these different isms, communism, imperial, what other isms are there? So there's so many isms are there, but now there's a new outlook Bhaktivinoda Thakur has actually given to the whole world. And that is this Mahaprabhu's teaching in the Dasamul. Of the books that Sri Bhaktivinoda Thakur has written, taking shelter of this Dasamul Tattva, 3 books are topmost. What are they? Jaivadharma, Chaytanya, Sikshamrita, and Teachings of Lord Chaitanya. These 3 books, they are the topmost because they take shelter of this Dasamul. And you will see, in these books, these Dasamul are really like taught there. So the great swan-like devotee Paramahamsa Vishnupa, Sri Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, has also written. So what did Prabhupada say? He said, in the teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, firstly, Praman Tattva has been established. Then, upon the foundation of the self-evidence and all-perfect Vedic sound vibration, 9 philosophical truths for Pramaya Tattva, which are established by the Praman, have been produced. Okay, you're going to follow. So this explanation really is based on Dasamul. Because in Dasamul Tattva, the very first one is the evidence. Evidence. Then the rest is the subject matter where that is being discussed based on the evidence. Okay? So that's what the whole thing is. Like, before you discuss something, before you teach, then you establish first where is the source of your knowledge. And this is also like applicable to us. If someone is teaching to you, then first thing you're like, is it worthwhile listening to this? So then you have to establish where is all this coming from. Because if they're not coming from actual like bona fide source, then why listen? It's like you waste your time. Like that. So first establish this tattva, this tattva is perfect. It's actually still perfect. It's coming from a perfect source. So that is the Praman Tattva. So that's from the very beginning. So he said, firstly, it is established the Praman Tattva. Then based on that, then the other philosophical truths. The 9 methods of formulating a conclusion, such as Pratyaksha. Pratyaksha means direct sense perception. There's Anuman, meaning inference. Upaman, comparison. Arsha, statement of various saintly persons. Abhav, conclusions obtained by absence or omittance. Sambhava, inclusion. Aikya, historical evidence. Cheshta, indication. And Arthapati, deduction of an unseen cause by hypothesis. They are all limited. They are to a limited degree somewhat helpful in drawing a conclusion within this world. So these are examples of, when you make conclusion, like when you agree on, this is correct. So there's all this evidence. The most common is direct perception. If you don't see, you will not believe. Like that. Direct perception. That's protection. And this is like in court cases and like that, this is the main evidence. Like this. So he said protection and all the other evidence, material evidence, they have a limited degree as far as ascertaining if your conclusion is correct. But he said, yet apart from the process of hearing divine sound, the processes dependent upon the fallible material senses remain completely unable to help us regarding the understanding of spiritual subject matter, which is beyond matter. Now, when we talk about material world, Pratyaksha may be the best evidence. But we are not talking about material things. We're talking about this world beyond matter. So this senses, which is the basis for this pratyaksha, direct perception. This is all powerless, really. Powerless to know about that world, the spiritual world. So, therefore, this is imperfect. Our senses are imperfect. We know that. So, we cannot rely on this evidence. And really, aside from hearing transcendental sound, nothing else is helping. Nothing else is helpful based on this material evidences. So the endeavor to equate the material with the transcendental proves to be an obstruction in the path of submissive hearing. That is due to lack of surrender in the hearer. Now, if you are a hearer, someone speaking to you about the spiritual world, like this. If your conception only is that everything is only to be learned by my senses, like that, then definitely you will not believe the speaker. Because he'll be talking about things which are go beyond the sense perception. That's why he said, this kind you equate the material and the spiritual world. It will become an obstruction to understanding. It will become an obstruction to submissive hearing. You cannot submissively hear. So, the neutral searchers of the truth will accept the Srimad Bhagavatam as the spotless Vedic evidence and the one and only non-duplicitous commentary of the Brahma Sutra. And thus they may then advance on the path of submissive hearing. So he said, there's people who are materialistic. They're partial. They cannot hear submissively because they have no faith. But for those who are open-minded, they're neutral. Then he said they can accept Bhagavatam and up to the point really accepting it as a spotless, as a pure commentary of Brahma Sutra. And then they can progress to submissive hearing. And therefore, they advance. Only then they will be able to properly understand the teachings imparted within this book. So, Srila Maharaj is showing to us okay, you want to understand this book? You want to understand this book? Then you have to get rid of all this doubtful mentality. First, have to have full faith that this book is transcendental, and really, what is our basis of understanding? And this book is, what is the basis of this book? The basis of this book is the teachings of the Vedas. The self-evident, perfect teachings from God Himself. How? They come by disciplic succession. So this is Amnaya. The teachings from the Vedas coming down by bona fide disciplic succession. Because someone can also just say, oh, this is the Vedas, like that. But they're not bona fide line. Someone also just speculating about it and inventing like that. So it has to come in the proper line. So that's how this knowledge is received. We'll just finish this and then we can continue after. So he's saying that the teachings of Lord Chaytanya is available in Sri Sikshamrita. No, before that. Jagat Guru, Srila Sachid Ananda Bhaktivinoda Thakur has also written, those persons who have unflinching faith in Sri Chaitanya Dev and who have faith in the devotion that is found in the shelter of the holy name are the only ones qualified to read this book. So he's telling us we want to be qualified to read this book. So this is the thing. Bhaktivinoda Thakur himself have unflinching faith in Chaitanya Dev and in Bhakti. And fully take shelter of Harinam. These three things, if you have this, then easily you understand this book. If you don't understand this book, that means you don't have this. Is that as simple as that? You have no unflinching faith of Mahaprabhu, you have not enough faith for bhakti, and you don't take shelter of holy name. So, that of all the practitioners, the topmost sadhaka is one who believes that all of the limbs of devotion, of all the limbs of devotion, only the shelter of the chanting of the holy names can deliver complete protection. So, who said this? This is Bhaktivinoda Thakur telling, quoted by Srila Maharaj. He said that the greatest sadhaka, the topmost sadhaka, he has this firm conviction, this complete appreciation, that of all the limbs of bhakti, because there are 64 limbs, yeah, he has this belief that of all the limbs of devotion, the chanting, taking shelter of this chanting of the holy name, he said, this can bring complete protection. This teaching of Lord Chaitanya is available in Sikshamrita. So easily, why does Mahaprabhu say like this? Look, Sikshamrita. We just talk about this. Param Vijayati, Krishna Sankirtana. The nectarian teachings of Lord Chaitanya are the essence of all scriptures and only supreme wealth for all the jivas. So he said, the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this is the greatest wealth for the jiva. And this is the essence of all the scriptures. So he's saying the Gaudiya Vedanta Samiti, that is from where this society, has already printed the first two sections of the book Jaiva Dharma in the Bengali language. And the complete book has been presented in Hindi. By the one-pointed endeavors and ideal service mood of the secretary of the Gaudiya Vedanta Samiti, who is that? Srila Gurudev, Srila Swami Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Maharaj, the Hindi edition of the book Sri Chaytanya Sikshamrita, and now been published by Sri Keshav Gaudiya Mathura. By this, the educated sections of the Hindi knowing public will be specially benefited. So he begins to explain that this book was first published in an unbroken manner in the monthly Bhagavad Patrika. He said, now it's published as a book in Hindi, and you can see it's there available in Hindi. Last time, Prabhupada's Visa Puja, I think this is one of the things in the bag. We're distributing gifts to the sannyasis and all the sadhus, Madhvasis. So this, one of the gifts there is this book, Chaytanya Sikshamrita. So now it's published in the book. But before, for 7 years, they were like installment. They published this in the monthly magazine. It's Bhagavad Patrika. So 9th edition until the 18th year, 12th edition. So meaning for from the 7th year, 9th edition until the 18th year, 12th edition. So I don't know how long that took. So he said this was the first edition. This is the first edition of the book. This book has also been printed and preached in English and Telugu by Sri Saraswati Prabhupada from Sri Chaitanya Math and Sri Gaudiya Math. The Gaudiya Vedanta Acharya Baladev Vidyabhushan Prabhu, at the time of writing his commentary on Vedanta, what is his commentary? Govinda Vasya. He has taken the essence of the philosophical conclusions from who? From Madhvacharya. And placed them in his own book. Which book is that? Prameya Ratnavali. It is written in the verse Sri Madhva Praha that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has accepted these 9 Prameyas as given by Sri Madhva as instructions for all the jivas of this world. Sri Bhaktivinoda Thakur, following the philosophical conclusions given by Baladev Vidyabhushan Prabhu and Sri Jiva Goswami in Sat Sandarbha, has put these 10 root philosophical points, this Dasamud, inside the verse Anaya Raha. That is the root verse of the Dasamud. Afterwards, he has written Vaishnava Siddhanta Mala and the teachings of Lord Chaitanya and placed the teachings of Srimad Mahaprabhu concerning Dasamud Tattva within them. After this, he wrote the book named Jayavadharma and again presented his point in an extended manner. He has described Sri Dasamu Tattva in other books written by himself, including Tattva Sutra, Sri Gauranga Smaran Mandal Stotra, Sri Harinam Chintamani, and many other books. So now, this book, Sri Chaytanya Sikshamrita, was first published by Bhaktivinoda Thakur in 1886. After this edition was sold out, it was published again in 1905, after being completely re-edited and redesigned. In this book, a special emphasis was also placed on the Sri Dasamu Tattva in regards to Sampanda, Abhideya, and Prayojan. So in order to fully study the essence of the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, it is necessary that one also read what? Chaytanya Shikshashtaka and Chaytanya Chaytamrita. We said, okay, we study this because we want to know Prabhu's teaching. But very important, along with this, you have to read Shikshashtaka and Chaytanya Chaytamrita. Reading books like Sri Chaitanya Chandrai Nataka, Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, and the Satsandharvas written by various Gaudiya Acharyas will also be extremely helpful. In the pastime of Srimad Mahaprabhu, as a married person, the Lord taught the Jivas the necessity of performing Harinam Sankirtan. All of his teachings that he gave after he took the renounced order are found in his instructions to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Rai Ramananda, Sri Vainata Bhatta, Sri Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, Sri Raghupati Upadhyay, Sri Ballabhabhata, and Prakashananda Saraswati. So this, where do you find all this in Chaitanya Charitamrita? No. So when Mahaprabhu was householder in Navadvip, then his main teaching is there, perform Sankirtan, right? But when he took sannyas, then you can see all these instructions from there. Rup Shiksha, Sanatan Shiksha, that is Raghavaninda Sambad, and more. So in the 8 rainfalls of Sri Chaitanya Sikshamrita, because their chapters are considered like this rainfall, because this Shiksha Amrit, this nectar, they're like falling, So now in the 8 rainfalls of Chaitanya Sikshamrita, there are discussions on both ordinary and pure religious life, the secondary rules concerning religious behavior, Vaidhi Bhakti, Radhanuga Bhakti, Bhav Bhakti, Prema Bhakti, and the deliberation on rasa. So that is like the culmination. In a way, he's showing to us like, look, this is the topic. The explanation is both condensed and elaborate. The conclusions are thick with the very essence of spirituality. In order to understand the system of Srimad Mahaprabhu's teachings, there is an absolute necessity of understanding the philosophy of our philosophy. Achintya Veda Veda Tattva. Krishna Chandra Raso Vaisa Lila Purushottam is enjoyer of Nam Bhajan. A vision of the Lord's eternal Astakalya Lila, 8-fold pastimes, are possible by the congregational chanting of the holy names. Remembrance of the pastimes of Krishna is achieved by the loud chanting of the holy names. At such a time, one may perform the chanting of the holy names in solitude. This is presented in the teachings of Srila Prabhupada and Saraswati Thakur, otherwise known as Sri Varshabhanavi Daitadas. The last paragraph. In Sri Chaitanya Sikshamrita, as in the books, the teaching of Lord Chaitanya and Jayavadharma, there are descriptions of Sri Dasamu Tattva. Bhaktivinoda Thakur has enabled us to draw a comparison of Sanatana Dharma with the religion and pretension of the attached filthy workers or the pseudo-logicians and yogis. Because he has presented the confidential conclusions of the Vedas, the Vedanta, Upanishad, Gita, and Bhagavat in simple and easy to understand language, this book is supremely and astonishingly authoritative. Like Jayavadharma and other books written by Thakur, this book is also condensed, pleasant to read, and easily understandable. Thus, due to its indirect nuances of expression and languages, He is also very dear to the inquisitive and the sick readers. This is my strong belief. There is no need of further explanation of this book. My Gurudev, Saraswati Thakur and Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur have already described the special glories of this book in their introductions. I understand that their good wishes and blessings are the only way for the jivas in this world to attain real auspiciousness. Okay, so this was written during Kartik, full moon, Sarabhiyaras Purnima, by Srila Bhaktivinoda Maharaj. This way we made up introductory words. Then we can begin next time when Prabhu will have class. No, Prabhu will have class next time. Huh? Okay. Jai Shri Gurudev, Jai Shri Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Jai Shri Jai Kadasi, Jai Govinda.